I think the anxiety starts as soon as you get that holiday email. Maybe it's an invitation from one of your siblings. Maybe it's a neighbor who wants to have a get-together. Maybe it's coworkers talking about having an after-hours party. All of those holiday invitations can really rise up our anxiety, our worry. How should I respond? Am I interested in going? What should I respond? And that then draws in all of this guilt about either we're not wanting to go or there's too many factors that are complicating reasons to go. You know, as I record this in November of 2020, we're preparing for the holidays in a pandemic. So there are so many extra factors to consider and things to look at as you decide, do I want to go? Should I go? Should I not go? Today we're going to go over all of the things that will help you to just sort of analyze and look at what feels right for you. And then how do you respond with your RSVP without any guilt? Here we go. My name is Kathryn Gardner. I am a mom. I'm a health coach for pregnancy and a therapist that specializes in working with moms and moms-to-be. My channel is all about giving you easy tools for self-care and ways to strengthen yourself all throughout pregnancy, postpartum, and motherhood. Today we're going to talk about the holidays, preparing for all of the upcoming invitation, planning, organizing, and deciding. Should I go? Should I not go? There's a lot to consider. That pulls up our anxiety. That's that knot in your stomach. That's that racing thoughts. Maybe you're feeling irritable or even just avoiding the people that you need to respond to. You're feeling concerned. And it's not a physical danger this time, right? If you've seen some of my other anxiety videos, it's not that the tiger is approaching and my brain is picking up on physical danger. This time, it's emotional danger. What if I hurt their feelings? What if I'm not following family obligation? What if someone's disappointed in me? The people pleaser in us gets very worked up. And that draws in all of that adrenaline right from the brain, telling us, well, fight it out, or flee, or freeze, avoid the whole thing altogether. But I'm going to walk it through with you. How do we make that decision? Feel really confident about the decision you make about the holidays this year. And then how do you communicate that? I want you to feel like there's not all this guilt, right? Some of us, we grew up in families where there's a lot of messages of guilt and pressure and shoulds, right? I should be the host to these events. I should be there for everything from the start of the party to the end of the party. Well, if you're pregnant this year, if you have a brand new baby this year, if you're a mom juggling lots of little ones this year, your decision's going to be different. And that's hard. That's hard on you. That's hard on those that have the expectation of you. And that can be really awkward. So let's jump into what are some of the tips that I have to even help you decide, well, do I want to go? The first tip that I have for you is really about safety. And again, as I record this in 2020, the pandemic has changed the way that we socialize, how often we can get together, who we can get together with. And I don't know in your family, but in some of our families, some groups haven't even seen each other yet this year. Or some groups would be coming in from out of town and mixing who's not been with each other, who has been with each other. Maybe we're all going to be indoors, right? If you're here in the Midwest like us, we have cold weather for the holidays. So the opportunities that we had over the summer to maybe gather outdoors or gather with distance in a garage is not going to be an option in November and December. So we might feel stuck of, well, I think there are risks to my safety in getting together with groups or participating in the holidays. Really, the best way that you're going to get information is from your medical team. Be clear with them, talking to your obstetrical team and your midwife if you're pregnant. What are the risks? First trimester, second trimester, third trimester. We're constantly in 2020 trying to gather data and research about what happens with the disease of COVID during pregnancy to the fetus. If this is not 2020, we're still in flu season and other easily spread diseases. So we're concerned, well, if I'm getting together, what are the precautions that I can take, right? If you have a newborn baby, were they in the NICU? Are they compromised? Do they have more conditions that we really have to consider in terms of safety and illness? So sit down with your pediatrician and go through what are the things that are individualized to your child. It's very easy. I've done it too, where I'm off Googling, well, what is this? And is this apply to me? But the truth is that doesn't mean it has to do with me or my health or our kids and our family's health. So go right to the source and gain your medical information. Are there things you can do with precautions? Are there things your guests can do with precautions? Are there things you can ask the host to do specifically for you in order to not only decrease your anxiety in showing up to their house, but really creating a more comfortable, casual environment because you know that some of the safety precautions have been taken care of? I want you to comment down below, what are some of those comments or phrases, and maybe you've seen them on social media or you've heard them from family members, in these emails and invites that really draw up your guilt, right? Somebody's saying, well, we haven't seen each other in so long. We really need to get together. Ooh, we feel such guilt, right? Because we want to say no to the invite, but people pleasers, we end up saying yes. And then we feel like, oh, why did I do that? Now I'm dishonoring what I need for myself. So sometimes when we've gotten that medical data and we just really have the information from our medical team, that's going to help us. In a few minutes, we'll talk about how to communicate and decrease the guilt. But sometimes if we've got data and information to use in those phrases back to our family, that's really going to help. My second tip is really evaluating, and this is sort of that decision tree if you break it down into branches. Somebody's been talking about getting together for the holidays, and you want to get together. You miss having the socializing, you love the traditions, you love your aunt's favorite pie, but you have to sit back and look at, I think, the first part of your decision tree when you've heard about the plans. Do I want to go? And sometimes there's this initial, yes, I need to be there, I need to go. But I want you to pause for a little bit. Take a day or two. Tell the person that's invited you or that sent the email or talking about the plans, can I get back to you? It's as polite as that, but boy, that gives you a little bit of pause room to just capture and sit with your thoughts. How do I feel about going? Do I feel like being in person with them is my favorite way of getting together and it's the only way of getting together? Maybe you say, you know what? Those coworkers, I know they stay out really late at their holiday parties. This year, I'm going to choose to skip. I'm so far along in my pregnancy. I'm tired. I'm worn out. I'm not going to do it this year. And that's okay. Maybe it is certain multiple events in one day, right? In some families, if you've got family within a certain distance from each other, we're going to drive to so-and-so's house for breakfast and so-and-so's house for lunch and another family member's for dinner, and you're exhausted by the end of the day. That's not going to work with a newborn this year. The newborn has their own schedule, and they're not going to agree to that. Same with infants and toddlers. They get cranky when there's too much stimulation. They're overwhelmed by changes in nap time, location of nap time, changes in meals. I remember packing up bags for the holidays and thinking, we're bringing half the house just to go for the afternoon of Thanksgiving. So really asking yourself, do I want to go? If you've decided, yes, I want to go. I love these people. They bring great energy into my life. I want to see them. Now the question becomes, how are you going to see them? Because again, this year, but every holiday season, I do this for counseling with women going through pregnancy and postpartum and motherhood. Every year as we get close to the holidays, this topic comes up. And we want to look at, well, maybe there are other creative ways of getting together. We certainly this year have learned how much technology we can use and be creative, that we could set up a Zoom time where you're having your turkey dinner at your house and we're having our turkey dinner at our house, and we can see each other and laugh and interact that way. Maybe it's sending videos of somebody opening up gifts and what they got and talking about it in the video, and then sending that to the family member instead of having to feel like we have to be on at a certain time and live, because maybe the kids aren't cooperating with that certain time frame. Maybe this year you're going to divide it up. Instead of trying to hit all in-laws and all sides of the family in one day, we're going to divide it up. Thanksgiving can be celebrated on Sunday with this part of the family. Then Thanksgiving afternoon with this part of the family. Then the next upcoming weekend, Saturday morning, with this side of the family. That way you feel like you have less amount of people together. There could be more spacing and distancing. And if you need to leave the room to nurse, if you need to go and put your swollen feet up during pregnancy, you have the opportunity to just catch your breath in a smaller gathering to relax. Take care of the needs that you have. So you say, well, how can we get together? Maybe there are more creative ways than you have even been thinking about. This is why I make these videos. I love giving you these kinds of tips. I've got the video on how to deal with uncertainty, right? All kinds of changes and plans. This year, even trying to plan a holiday, we don't know a lot of those answers until we're going to get really close to the holiday. I've got that video on self-care tips, things you can all do for yourself in 1 minute. Because each time you're getting ready for these parties, your anxiety may be up. You're trying to pack up, you're trying to think about what the newborn is going to need. During pregnancy, certain foods don't sit well with you, and you think, I need to plan this ahead, but doing as much self-care as you can, and that video will walk you through just some quick 1 minutes is each suggestion. What can I do to take care of my body and my mind and my soul to just feel like I'm ready for these get-togethers? Because there may be more tension this year at get-togethers. Hot topics, election topics, social justice topics, conspiracy theories thrown around the room. Everybody has lots of opinions right now. And during this time, you feel like, where can I go into my most peaceful place and feel like we're enjoying each other's company, we're enjoying the food and the things that we have made for each other, and that's the focus of this get-together. So subscribe to my channel. Every Friday, I load videos for moms and pregnant moms. That fourth tip for you is taking a look at, once you've been going through this way of how to decide if I'm going to get together for the holidays and how to reduce that guilt, is really once you've come through your decision tree, and maybe you need to journal it out, right? Grab a piece of paper, talk it over with your spouse. You guys are a team working on what can we do with the expectations from everybody's side of the family and each group of our friends. Once you've taken a look at those expectations and how we can come up with a better compromise, now you're ready to respond. Whether it's going to be back in a text, in person, in an email, the next time you talk on the phone. Now you've taken your pause, you got your chance to clear your thoughts, you've really broken it down, and that's exactly what you start with. I've given this a lot of thought. I've really considered how important our family is. I want you to know that I've looked at this as a hard decision for us. We wanted to look at what is best for us in this difficult time, right? Starting out your communication with comments that soften the recipient. It lets them know, I'm not just showing up with a yes or no answer casually and I didn't think anything about it. No, this is letting them know this is important to you and your values and your beliefs have not changed. This is just a difficult decision. This is a hard one to answer. And again, shutting down that people pleaser and saying, okay, I've got to make this decision really logically and with the facts. So you've started out the talk or the email with, we've really looked at this, and I think that I'm going to follow the recommendation of my doctor. It's not okay for me to be in such a big gathering. I am high risk. The newborn is high risk. I have looked at this as to why I feel sad. I feel disappointed too. Acknowledge where you're at in feeling about this, that you're not over here celebrating like, yes, we got out of it. Although there might be a little part of you that's feeling that way this year, whether you're usually the host or usually zooming all around town for the holidays. But you could say, look, we're disappointed too. We know that this is hard. We know that this is sad and another part of grief for others, that you wanted to see me or you wanted to see the baby and spend more time with the baby. However, we have made the decision. And this is where you are direct and firm. I tell women in counseling this all the time. We are so typically wishy-washy. we sort of beat around it and we try to tuck this way and we kind of say, but then the audience, or the person we're talking to, is like, well, what's your decision? What did you come up with? So we have to be really direct and firm, but very polite. However, we have decided, and it's a we, right? We represent our household. We have decided, based on the information from our medical team, based on all the things that we had to calculate and the factors we had to analyze, we will not be able to make it this year, right? Let's make sure we're getting this clear to everybody. This is just temporary. We're only pregnant for 9-10 months. That's it. Well, it's 9 months, but it's 40 weeks, so that equals 10 months. But it's only this amount of time. Like, the baby will only be a newborn this time. The pandemic, fingers crossed, will only be this Christmas. So all of those factors are really letting our recipient know, thank you so much for inviting us. We are so honored and pleased and know we are loved by you that you invited us. However, this year we are unable to make it. And then wrap it up with your compromise, right? This is how you get rid of that guilt. Wrap it up with the compromise. So we would like to offer that we'll be making videos and sending them out on Duo or on Glide, or we'll be live with you on Zoom at 2 p.m. And we want to see you. We want to see you open your gifts. We want to talk about the food that you've dropped off at our front door, right? Because you still love your aunt's favorite pie. You say you dropped it off at our door and we were so happy and so pleased to receive your gifts. So here, this is the most intimate way and safest way and most comfortable way that we could share the holidays with you this year. This is what I want you to feel empowered, moms. I want you to feel like you have a voice and you have the ability to make these decisions, as tough as they are, during the holidays. What feels right for you? How do you express it then without guilt? I'm so glad you've been here with me. Thank you. Please subscribe and ring that bell every Friday. It'll load right into your feed that one of my new videos are up. Thank you and have a great day. You take care of yourself.